Hi, this is Edithson Abelard, and thank you for watching this introduction to the new Unity UI. And in this video, I'm going to talk about text. Now, to start off with, I've already created just a simple scene, nothing in there, brand new scene. I actually hate seeing this default blue background, but we're going to talk about a new way to get rid of that. Since we're using the UI system anyways, I'm going to go ahead, create a new UI, and I'm actually going to create a panel. Now, I'm not going to get into any detail about the panel, but to say that it is going to now replace my default blue background that Unity so kindly provides. Alright, so cool. So I'm going to drop this maybe down to a brownish color. We'll see why in a second. Alright, so now we have this panel in the background. As you can see, if you create any element without a canvas and event system already attached, it already creates them for you. So now that I have a panel, I'm just going to, within my panel, I'm going to add a new UI element, a panel. Actually, no, this is going to be confusing. I'm just going to add an image. If I nest double panels, it might actually get a tad bit confusing if you haven't seen the video on how to use the panels. So I'm going to create an image, and I'm going to grab our wood texture, and I'm going to drop it in here. We have this weirdness going on here, but that's fine. That's because this is set to sliced. And as you can see in here, this is doing some very weird actions, but this is 9 patched. So as you can see, it's trying to maintain that ratio. We don't want that though. We want to make it simple, and we can actually set this to native size so that we have the original size, but also want to preserve aspect ratio. So now that we have this here, we want to talk about text. And what I want to do is actually, I want to, still inside of our panel, which, since I'm already using it, the panel you can think of as just a way to group elements together. Alright? I'm going to go ahead and create text. Now, this just happens to be in the center, but you can go ahead and still, I'm in 2D mode, using the direct transform, I can scale this up so it fits the button. If I go ahead now, we have access to this text. So let's say I want to make this an options. Oh, we don't want to say options button, but let's say I want to make this an options button. Don't do what I just did. You want to hit options, not enter, and just click away from it. What I did before is hit escape, and by hitting escape, it actually deleted what you just tried to do. So what you can do is you can choose different fonts. Right now, Arial is the only one that we have here. There are ways to create fonts, and you can save them out and just import them in, and Unity will respect them. You have options for font styles, so you can make this bold. You can see this is actually bolding up, italic and bold and italic. We have rich text. What does rich text mean? Rich text means we can do something like, I'm going to set this to normal. And this is like an old school HTML. If I hit back, you see that it makes it bold. So it's just another way to create text with HTML markup. When to use it, how to use it, it's really an option, especially since you have this. If you do have multiple, let's say, options, and you want to do special, and you only want the word special to have this, then you can add, the B around the special, and bold just the word special. So that is a really good use case for it. When do you use it? Like I said, it's really a hit or miss. And our font style, as you can see, it inherits. So this is just an extra. The font size, you can change our font size by, right now I'm just scrolling. You want to be careful. As you can see, it just randomly disappeared. It didn't disappear. It's actually set that way. In a few options I'll show you below. But you can see you can do that. If you have multiple lines, if I come here and add at line, if I add second line, I'll actually be able to show you multiple lines once I increase this. You can see now we have a second line there. So line spacing just changes the space between the line. So now it's double the size of the text. So if I made this text smaller, you'll see it there. Let's go back to 1. Get rid of the second line. Actually, you know what? I'm going to jump into Photoshop. Bet you didn't know this existed. So I'm just going to go into type, and you can actually paste lorem ipsum in there. And I'm just going to change the size. Let's see how much. Yeah, there's a good amount in there. Awesome. And then we can go back to Unity. I'm going to paste that in a second so I can actually show you a little more. So as you can see, you remember this thing got cut off. Well, so what ends up happening is we have these alignments, we have these flows that we have as an option. We can choose overflow, and I'm going to actually change the color of this. If I choose overflow, and that paint, you'll see now the text will overflow throughout, and it doesn't respect the bounding box. Now you can only see this with a bunch of text in there. But if I decide, I can actually choose this to wrap, and wrap will just make it go straight horizontal. And as I increase the size of our bounding box here, it'll actually show you more or less text. So I'm just going to decrease the size just a little bit and show you line spacing again. If you want to do 1.2, you can see you get just a little bit of spacing in there. Now, what you saw before with this being cut off is because of this truncate option. So if I scale this down and I get rid of this, if I change this truncate to overflow, it will automatically show all of the text, which is awesome because now you can have this little box and just show, and it will just respect the width, and then the height will be based off of whatever amount of text that you have. Does it become manageable? As you can see, this comes down and there's no way for you to see it. Not yet. We'll talk about that in another video when I actually it won't be the panel. It'll be a combination of things. I'm gonna start combining the elements is when you'll start seeing how that works. For now, you can see we have this rich text was clicked off, and that's the reason why you saw some of that text. Didn't want to confuse you. I'm actually going to make this a color that's a little more soothing. There you go. I'm just going to move our wood texture real quick. And now let's talk about formatting. So we have the alignment. Right now everything is left aligned. If I hit center, all of the text now will appear down the center, as you can see down here. If I choose right aligned, you'll see all of the text will now be pushed off to the right hand side. And then you have middle align and bottom align, and that's really, there's a lot of text here, so it's not going to make a difference. But if I was to delete some of this text and maybe leave just a little, you'll see now that it actually aligns based off of the bounding box. So you can always have it in the center no matter what, especially when we start talking about anchors. This is really, really cool. Best fit will always, it will resize everything, and it will make it always fit within that area. Now you can see as I scale it, you see that font size does not have any preference here, and the reason for that is best fit looks at your screen. And so what you'll end up having is best based off of the density, you'll end up getting the best fit between the minimum size and the maximum size. So that's our text. In the next video, or in one of the next videos, I'll actually show you how to fix that problem we had when we had multiples. Get rid of best fit. When we had this, and you can see at the bottom that there's text that's still missing that you can't see. So this has been Edithson Abelard. I hope you enjoyed. Like all the other ones, if you have any questions, please, by all means, drop a line for me. I'll be more than happy to to create new videos or help you along the way. That's Google Plus Abelard, Twitter Abelard, or hit us up at Passion47. We've actually had quite a few people call it business in order to get help because our number is online, because we don't hide from you. This is Edithson Abelard, and I'm out.